I do not understand why. Not letting me go live. I don't know why. Public. On. Okay. Not that. No. Yeah, I don't understand. Oh, that's why. Hello. Yes. Sorry, the one I saved was set up. Where the hell is it? Hello. I set up the scheduled one for mobile by accident, so my computer wouldn't let me wouldn't let me start, and I don't know how to fix it. Sorry, I'm still new to YouTube here. How was everybody? Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Cecilia. So I got to talk to the people. I got some people waiting in the other thing, and I don't know how to make it. I somehow set it up for mobile, and I don't know how that happened. I was like, it wouldn't let me turn it on, and I just realized it's set up for mobile. Let's see. How do I do this? Public. Hello, Brian. Hold on. How was everyone? I got to keep the other chat open in case more people decide to join. So what did the Supreme Court do today? Basically, we can racially profile people. Is that where we are as a country again? So if you're brown, basically we can pull you over and detain you until you can prove that you're a U.S. citizen or that you're here legally. Do we start doing that to Asians, to Muslims, maybe some white people that are darker complexion? And the Supreme Court is going to probably put interracial marriage back to the states. Yeah, that's where we are. Sad but true. Truly, truly sad that this is where we are. I mean, the Supreme Court now is a... oh, hold on. I still got people in the other one. Sorry, I got some people over here. It's pretty pathetic that an entire party of this country is defending a pedophile. It's truly, truly, truly deplorable and despicable. It's gross. Even now, they're saying he's an FBI informant, or just because he's on there 50 times doesn't mean he did anything. Do they think that Donald was there for a Bible reading and baptizing little children? Just going on the beach, hanging out? Oh, his signature is not real. I think that's what Charlie Kirk said. And I am very tired of both sides arguing. Yeah, Reginald, this is not a two sides issue. There's right and there's wrong. I've been saying this for months. The media, the bro podcasts, all the guys that are looking for money, they're talking about tariffs. They're talking about a bunch of stupid stuff that's completely irrelevant to what's happening in this country. It's all crap. It's about white supremacy. Hard stop, period, end of it. That's what this is. White Christian nationalism. Today, he wants to make it legal to pray in a school. I can pray in a school now. Nobody can stop me. But they're going to start regulating which religions can pray in a school. That's the problem. See, their version of Jesus means that Jesus sent down an adjudicated rapist who sexually assaults women, who's a convicted felon. This is their Jesus, their version of Jesus. And when you look at the history of this country, it's not completely unfounded, right? They believe that this is a Christian nation where we murdered black people and hung them from trees and fed them to alligators and stole them from Africa. This is their version of a Christian nation. And this is what we did with the Native Americans as well. We tried to convert them to Christianity. We tried to simulate them to what we want the religion to be. And that's what we've done since day one, is we've told people this is a great Christian nation. And people that have concepts of brains with red hats, white supremacists, don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that their version of the America the Great, the land of the free, American flags and bald eagles, that we're not great. What do you always hear? Leave this country, right? This is everyone's country. Officer Tatum interview Benjamin Netanyahu and comments were upset. I do not know. I made a video about Israel. I think it's very simple. Benjamin Netanyahu should be put underneath the prison and left there. It's that simple. And it's unforgivable that we have people in our Congress and Senate that can't even say that. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're starving 500,000 people in that country. They're not even letting food go in there. How is that defending yourself? How is that defending yourself? It's not. This is ethnic cleansing. That's what this is. I don't care if Israel's our ally. I don't want to be allies with a country that wants to murder people just because they don't like them. I mean, it's disgusting. 71% of Democrats last week voted to continue to fund Israel. Why? Because they're getting paid for. They're watching what's happening with bombs in buildings and the horrors and the atrocities. People are starving to death. I believe the last count was 64,000 people have died. I believe it was 16,800 are children. 14,000 are missing. 162,000 are injured, not including reporters, journalists. And you can't even get politicians to say that this is wrong. I don't even, all because they want money so they can get reelected. It's just disgusting. Officer Tatum. I don't know that name. I'm sorry. I'll look it up though. Is he a U.S. guy? Oh, that guy. Oh yeah, he's a douchebag. Yeah, yeah. That guy runs out to his mailbox every day hoping for a membership card. Trust me. He thinks that the plantation owner is going to let him stay in his guest house and he's going to show up and he's going to put him out in the field. I'm just keeping it 100. That's what it is. No, he doesn't. He's a grifter, just like Candace Owens. They are grifters. They know exactly what they're doing. Yeah, Shapiro's a grifter. Charlie Kirk's a grifter. Those people are not dumb. They know how to manipulate concepts of brains people. That's it. They're grifters. He's a grifter too. Stephen Smith is a troll looking for attention. That's all he is. He's good at it, but he's a troll. But yeah, and for some of the, I believe the phrase that I've heard is called blaga, where, oh, I got a stimulus check. Do you even know who approved it? No. Do you know it went through Congress? But they saw Donald's name on there, so they go, oh my gosh, he really cares about me. Is that why black unemployment's the lowest it's been in like a long, long time? Especially for black women, because he cares so much? He wouldn't even rent to black people. But you think you think he cares about that? Did Tatum ignore the fact that Donald questioned the birth of Barack Obama? You think he cared about that? No. He's a grifter. He's an opportunist. That's all he is. He knows exactly what he's doing is stupid. He just doesn't care because he makes money on it. Same thing with Pierce Morgan. Pierce Morgan knows what he's doing is ridiculous. I don't know how much of these people actually like them and how much of it's propaganda. I can tell you for a fact that I know that Piers Morgan, what he says is a bunch of crap, and he knows it too. Candace Owens knows that what she's saying is a bunch of crap. Charlie Kirk goes to colleges and talks to a bunch of wannabe alpha males and a bunch of very young, impressionable people that don't push back, that have no facts. Hey, Mike. Oh, yeah, Stephen Smith is a troll. That's all he is. He's a troll. He has a big mouth. We are, what are we at? 7:13 p.m. Yeah, the problem is there's a lot of people like Brandon Tatum and Stephen Smith that want attention because we're addicted to outrage. Look, I'll pull something up for you. Hold on. I'll pull up. I'm going to use examples because I don't really care anymore. Let's look at Midas Touch, okay? Let's watch. Okay. Let's look at their videos, right? Now, I can't turn the screen here, but every video is, here, I'll read you the last 8 titles. Fox knows he crashed it. White House cover-up. Paid the $38 million now. Trump letter made public. Massive Brooklyn rally. Meltdown at Bible Museum. Uh-oh. Melania surrenders. Does that not sound like the National Enquirer? They have the right to do whatever they want. Bright yellow letters. It invokes an emotional reaction, and people go crazy over it. Look, Bible meltdown, 465,000 views in 8 hours. Now, they have the right to do whatever they want. I don't know about David Pacman. I know he's dealing with that whole Wired article. He's talked a lot about that. Let's look at that. And listen, I'm not criticizing. They have the right to do whatever they want. I'm just trying to point out what it is. Okay, so he's making them hate us. He's so scared. He's in the cult. They broke his brain. Crumbling and stumbling. Listen, I'm just being 100, people. This is entertainment. This has turned into a shit show. It's all about money. Right. Yeah, you're right, John. It's grifting. We as Americans are addicted to outrage. Look at Lahaina, okay? How many people have reported on the recovery of Lahaina? None. How about Hurricane Helene? Did you know that there's still waste on the streets? They don't care about them. How about the flood in Texas? Once it's off the news, it's gone. How about the poop cruise, right? Literally, the entire country was reporting on a cruise that had a power outage because the toilets were overflooding. This is what we do as a society. We're addicted to outrage. This is what sells. So when I talk about something like white supremacy, you think 100,000 people are going to watch that in 8 hours? No. They're all normalizing it. Reginald, you're right. They're all complicit because nobody's talking about the real issue. They're in it for one thing, as to money. And that's what Pac-Man talked about a couple days ago was, where was it? The whole thing with the Wired ad. There was a bunch of influencers. Yeah, John, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't edit my videos. I don't have a sound room. I'm just a dude that makes videos in my car. 2 years ago, I made videos on TikTok. My wife got tired of me complaining about everything, and she goes, why don't you do something about it? So I'm like, okay, cool. I want to make videos. Here I am. Good. I mean, I make thumbnails. That's really it. I mean, honestly, the videos are easy. It's the thumbnails but I try to make my thumbnails be a picture's worth 1,000 words. Because unfortunately, if I just post a picture of myself, I think this is a bunch of crap clickbait. I want to post about racial inequality. I want to post about women's rights. I want to talk about actual shit that affects people. I want to know how people are going to have affordable housing. Yeah, it's not sexy. It's not attractive. I want to talk about Christian nationalism. Yeah, it's a show. The White House is a circus. I mean, all my thumbnails are like, about the foreclosure, like, how he voted against his own best interests, or a woman's choice, how the Republican Party is covering up the Epstein files. And I have another thumbnail where Jesus is sitting there with all these, dead children, and the guy's there with his gun saying, "Take my guns, libs." These are serious issues. We have to deal with it. One is with Caroline Levine, she's like, "Hey, I'm going to pray for you." And there's a guy drowning in a pool. And she's like, "I'll pray for you." Like, these are serious issues. Like, we have to do something, but it's such, we're addicted to outrage, and it's really hard to get over that. It's really, 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 really hard. You're right, Robin. This is not a Christian country. This country basically murdered about 16,000 Native Americans through the Trail of Tears over about 15 years. We made treaties with them. I think it was over 321, and we broke every single one of them. Andrew Jackson went against the will of the government, goes, "Stop me." We literally stole them off their land and made them walk 1,200 miles to Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. They died of dysentery, measles, starved to death. Horrible, horrible atrocities. Then we stole black people. Then we fed them to alligators and hung them from trees and made them build our White House. Sounds like a great Christian nation. Praise Jesus. I'm sure he would just love the way that we treat people in this country. And now we took away women's rights. There's I think it's a 52% increase in mortality in women now because of Roe versus Wade. But in blue states, where women's rights are still there, mortality has gone up 20%. Down 52%, up 20%. Maybe women's health care is there for a reason. They're not pro-life, they're pro-gun. Yep, the land for Mexico. Every week I'm doing another video, and I have one for the Trail of Tears. It's a lot. That was a very complicated, very complicated thing. I printed it out. I don't like to read off a sheet because my brain doesn't work that way. But it was there was a bunch of treaties that we signed, a bunch that we broke. Then we tried to Christianize, indoctrinate the Native Americans, and then that wasn't good enough. Hey there. Yeah, and then you're talking about the Mexico War, up the land up to Utah. And then we stole the land from King Kamehameha in Hawaii. All we've done is crapped over anybody that's not white since day one. That's just the reality of it. I mean, it's crap. Racially profiling people. So anybody that looks Latino or Latina, we're just going to assume that they're illegal, and I'm going to put you in a jail until you can prove. What if I did that to white people? Can you imagine the outrage? Well, Paul, you know what? You look a little Native American, or, oh, you know what? I think you're Hispanic. I don't like what he says on YouTube. Maybe we'll hold you for a day or two. Hey, there's nothing we can do. I just want to make sure you're a citizen. They're going to start using that against people that they don't like. Don't kid yourself. It's coming to your front door. Yeah, you're right, Robin. It's the initial sin of this country is the lost cause. It's the losers that got their ass kicked in the Civil War and they didn't want to have it. Why are you calling it socialist? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't understand the question. Well, Robin, in all fairness, Joe Biden should have done his damn job, and he should have increased his seats on the Supreme Court. But as we're seeing with Democrats, they don't seem to have any fight in them. I thought Joe Biden was a good guy. We needed a fighter. We needed a Rocky in the ring. We didn't need somebody to find common ground and sing kumbaya, and that's what he did. Merrick Garland, same thing. He's an utter disgrace. Joe Biden should have fired him, and he didn't do it. That's on Joe Biden. Yep, that's what I was just talking about, John Brown. Racial profiling. And now Clarence Thomas is talking about considering making interracial marriage a states' rights issue. The hell? What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? What the hell does it matter? So if you're white and you're on your third marriage and you're an adjudicated rapist and you cheat on your wife with a porn star while she's at home, somehow that's okay and that's Christian, but you can't vote for Pete Buttigieg because he's gay? I mean, this is where we are as a country. This is the level of stupidity. They have concepts of brains, and there's no morality. Yeah, we should make abortion a states' rights issue. Hey, let's do it by county. How about we do it by state or by city? Hey, why don't we do it by house? It's no one's business what we do, what a woman does with her body. It's just a form of control. That's all it is. It's control. It's just gross. It's just disgusting what this country has turned into. Now, for a lot of people that don't look like me, it's always been this way. We're just starting to see what it is. They took off their white hoods and they put on the red hats. You're right, Reginald. I made a video today. You know, I like Eric Swalwell as a person, but he's an absolute useless coward when it comes to fighting. I don't even think that's a debatable thing anymore. They're feckless. They're spineless. They're pathetic. They're weak. You know what they should have done? When Mike Johnson, that coward, took Congress away for what is it, a month or 6 weeks? What should have happened is that every Democrat, this is what should have done. Let's just play hypothetical. I am the leader of the Democratic Party. Every single person in the Democratic Party, you're going to be here within 48 hours of DC. I don't care if you have to walk, crawl, ride a bike, scooter, Uber, I don't care. We're going to protest with the people, and we're going to go to all parts of the city, and we're all going to do lives, and we're going to show the country that this place is not under attack by criminals, that the people that they said are here to battle criminals are weeding and picking up garbage and spreading mulch. And then we're going to go in the halls of Congress, and we're going to hold a hearing, just us, and we're going to have all the news agencies in there, all over the steps of Congress. Bring your sleeping bag and bring your pillow, and we're going to sit in here just like John Lewis would have done. We're going to camp our asses in this house. If you want to arrest us, then damn it, arrest us. That's what they should have done, but they didn't. They spent all their time on CNN and MSNBC and Pac-Man and Midas Touch and doing all this bullshit, basically acting like news for trouble. You're right. They're not willing to get in trouble. The fact that not one Democrat has been arrested for getting in good trouble pisses me off, because they're not willing to do what's necessary. Mario said, people still pick on Joe. Listen, they're victims, right? You're going to see this from MAGA. They're white victims. Oh, they're coming for my Christianity. They're coming for my prayer. Oh, it's Antifa. It's DEI. It's the drag queens. Thank you. Let's see. But when you interviewed Eric, you kept telling him you wasn't talking about him. He was fighting for us. What has Eric Swalwell done? Nothing. What has he done? Faith without works. He can say anything he wants. I want action. I'm tired of the Democratic Party talking. They do a lot of talking. They do very, very little bit of moving. Not a damn thing. Yeah. 10 of them voted for the CR. 50 voted for Rubio. Cory Booker voted for Charles Kushner, a convicted felon, for witness tampering. 127 Democrats said, I'm not going to impeach because it's not politically beneficial. What have they done? Just tell me what they've done. Give me anything that they've done. Not a damn thing. They just keep rolling over and showing their bellies. And then, was it 14 Democrats voted for the crypto bill? Yeah, thoughts and prayers. They're not willing. They're just not willing to get into the fight. And it starts from the top. And when I interviewed Swalwell, he goes, I could only go as far as Leader Jeffries. Well, A, he's not a leader. And Eric's job and every person's job that works in the Congress and the Senate is not to work for the leader. Their job is not to work for their political party. Their job is to work for us, the people. Yeah, Schumer is an absolute clown. He belongs in what is it, Jurassic Park? When will we start caring about people? You know, I this is what I think is going to happen, to be honest with you. John, I'm not sure what you're trying to get at here. Listen, I interviewed Swalwell. I'm making videos. If you want to do that, knock yourself out, buddy. You know, you're going to nitpick a needle out of a haystack. That's not helpful at all. You know, I'll tell you what's going to happen. On my Facebook page, I see a lot of white women that are talking about the traffic at high school. Ooh, oh no. Ooh, did you see? Oh, I dropped 3 eggs. Oh, look at my dog. He's sleeping. There are still a lot of people that are being lazy, that are still hiding behind the privilege, thinking that everything's going to be okay because they're white and they're not going to be racially profiled. I think what's going to happen is a lot of these people are going to have to feel the pain of sitting around and sitting behind their privilege. I really do. I don't know a way around it. We as a society are selfish. We don't do anything until it affects us, until the leopard comes from them. Amen. And that's what happened when I made that video about the Arkansas farmer, right? Oh, Trump, show us your love. Oh, we need a check. We don't like socialism. But for us, you guys get more handouts than anybody else. Screw off. Socialism, we don't do socialism. We want to balance the budget. But for them, it's okay. They didn't care about Jean Carroll. They didn't care about the survivors of sexual abuse that have to know that those people who pretend to love Jesus did nothing. They don't care about the officers on January 6th. They don't care about the children that have died because of the lack of USAID. They care more about the fact that they can't sell their soybeans to USAID than the people that died. That's the kind of people that they are. You're not cray-cray. The problem, Valiant, is that there's a lot of people that grift because they want to make money. What I talk about isn't sexy. I talk about the general strike for 5 or 6 months now. But I'm going to keep talking about it because at some point, it's going to have to happen. He should have given them a bailout. He shouldn't at all. Let them lose their damn farms. Because what's going to happen is they're just going to go back and vote Republican again because they're stupid. Oh, own the libs. Own the libs. Let them lose their damn farms. If it has to burn to the ground, then so be it. They always vote against their best interest. And that's why I don't want this tariff to go away. I don't care that the court put a holding on until, what was it, October? Leave them on. Leave the damn tariffs on. Let the country burn if you have to. You know what? If it takes me paying more for coffee and milk at the store and for gas, if that's the cost of dealing with white supremacy, then I'm all in. Do it. Bring it on. That's the least that I can do. If you let them off the hook, they're going to go, ooh, woo, the Supreme Court said it was illegal. I can go back to voting against the liberals again. No, let them suffer. Let them lose their farms. Let them pay more for coffee and eggs. Let them lose their house. I really don't care at this point. I don't. But the thing is, you and I voted for them. I voted for them to have a better quality of life. I voted for them to have universal health care. I voted for people to help with their loans. They didn't even vote for them themselves. They voted against me just because they assumed I'm a Democrat. That's just, there's nothing unselfish about that. Yeah, it's the general strike is the only option. People aren't ready. I've had 120,000 people look at my petition. Only about 4,600 have actually signed it. They're unwilling to be uncomfortable. The number one thing I get, and it is justified, I can't afford to do it. That's cool. That's cool. What do you think is going to happen in 3 to 6 months? Let's just keep it 100. What's going to happen in 3 to 6 months if we don't do anything now? You think it's going to get better? It's going to get a hell of a lot worse. Now, politicians won't tell you that. Why? Because they want to make you feel a certain way. They want to lie to you. They want to get your $10 and then do nothing for you. We can't afford not to. But getting people to see that, it's really difficult. Yeah, I agree. But getting people to be uncomfortable, it's really, really hard to do that. They're going to wait until they lose everything, and it's going to be too late. First, they came for the unions, then they came for the socialists, then they came for the Jews, and then there was nobody left. And for some of these people, as much as I hate to say it, they're going to have to burn their hand on the stove because they're not listening. I wish there was a way, but I have a feeling for Americans, they're just going to have to get their ass in the dry cleaning there and really suffer first. A general strike? So basically the way a general strike works is the same as you would with the union. People stop paying federal taxes. You stop going to work. Teachers, truck drivers, unions, farmers, train operators. Thank you, Wolf. You shut the whole damn thing down. That's what should happen. I don't care what the unions have to say. I don't give a damn. That's what the Democrats do. They want to play by the rules. It's called a wildcat strike. Look up France, May of 1968. 22% of their population went on strike for 3 weeks. It's at 2025strike.com. It's through change.org, so it's, as far as I know, it's one of the most reputable places. Now, I don't know anything about the donation, so you don't have to give. I'm assuming it goes for ads. I don't, for the cause. I actually don't even know. And you put your demands in there. Because there's no there's no reason for us to go forward in this mess. This is an utter disaster. If we go and say, cool, the Democrats get back in there. Wow, that's great. You're still going to have Citizens United. You're still going to have AIPAC. You're still going to have dark money. You're still going to have no term limits. Nobody's going to increase the minimum wage. Women aren't going to have their health care, and you still don't have gun reform. So what if they get in there? What? You have a little bit less garbage in your house? I mean, they're just what? They're not as bad as the Republicans. Our lives are still going to be crap. And then if they get elected, they're going to spend the next 2 years bitching and moaning and fighting with the guy in the White House. It's rigged. It's fake. None of it's real. Oh, it's the liberals. It's the liberals. It's going to be an absolute shit show. It's going to be like Romper Room. So we got to stop saying, oh, we don't have a choice. We can't vote for a third party. We have to vote for Democrats. No, you don't. We're choosing to stay in an abusive relationship with the government. That's what we're doing. Because what's going to happen is 26 and then 28. Oh, we have to vote for Democrat. We have to because we can't have Vance. And then at 30, it's something else. Then 32, we have to vote. This is not the time. Then 34, 36, 38. Now's not the time. When's the time? What is the time? How long do we have to live in the Hunger Games? How many people have to be homeless and live at shitty wages? 70% of America barely make it by. 3 people own as much wealth as half this country. When is it a good time? When the rich people suffer? But then it's too late. All the wealth is transferred. It's no longer, it's not even a democracy. It's an oligarchy. That's the end of capitalism. Yes, Van Nuys, you're going to have to basically do spending. It's going to be like the grocery store. That's it. No vacations. I haven't got a Target in, I think, a year. I will not go to Target anymore. I don't care if they fired their guy. I don't give a damn. I will not support that business because they took out DEI. Screw them. They can pound salt. I don't think a lot of people are ready for that, unfortunately, yet. I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake out of this sleepwalking to actually realize what's happening. I have a feeling what's going to happen is at some point, some tragedy is going to happen. Someone's probably going to get shot, unfortunately. And that's going to lead to something. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen. I don't want it to happen, but it's going to have to be something that's so shocking that not even MAGA can avoid it. I don't know. Yeah, I will never go back to Target either. I'm not. They discriminate against people. I won't do it. Frozen pizza from Walmart last year was bigger under Joe Biden. Now it's shrinking. I think what we're going to have to do, Cecilia, is everybody right now, you're just going to have to, like, for me, I mean, I think that we're grossly underestimating how much the supply chain is going to be affected here. A lot of this tariffs hasn't got affected yet. I think when we get into Christmas time and the holidays, and it's going to be bad. A lot of these companies are not going to be profitable because nobody has money. I'm telling you, I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago. It wasn't a ghost town, but everybody I talked to goes, it is dead. It is not good. The only thing that's keeping them alive are a couple of conventions from time to time. That is it. Yeah, it's not what it was. They've laid off a lot of people in Vegas. Yep. And that's the bellwether. That is a symbol of spending. And now you have people not coming here from Canada, from Mexico. Even the Las Vegas mayor said, travels down to Mexico. They don't want to come here because they're afraid they're going to be deported or arrested. I'll be shocked if the World Cup doesn't move. I will be shocked if they still hold it here. With everything that's going on, shocked. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, has anybody even heard about the DEI thing? Has anybody given me the names of 50 people that aren't qualified? Anybody? Give me 5 names. See, and that's on the Democrats because they've done a shit job. They haven't pushed back on the squeaky wheel. Has any Democrat said, give me the names of 50 kids in grades K through 12 that came? Think about this. This is how stupid people are. You go to school, right? With bathrooms and libraries. And these white supremacist MAGA are thinking that they went to school, had a surgery in school, and just came home a different gender. Do you know how stupid you have to be to believe that? But did the Democrats push back on it? No. Did they push back on CRT? No. Did they push back on litter boxes? No. Because they suck. They absolutely suck. Everybody's unqualified, Mario. That's the difference between this administration and the first one. These are all simps. They're all cult members. Look at 50 Shades of White in his administration. Look at it. Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, is he really talking about January 6th again? What the hell is that guy doing? What an utter disgrace. Yeah, Robert E. Lee's a loser. He's a piece of shit, okay? It's very simple. He lost. He got his ass beat. And the losers couldn't accept they got beat, so they went, oh, no, he's a patriot. No, it wasn't about states' rights. It was about slavery. I hope he's sitting next to Jeffrey Epstein right now. That's where he belongs. Jeffrey's just such an asshat. Hold on, January 6th? Is he really doing this shit again? I saw that he assigned somebody. It was like Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he did. Jeffrey says the Republicans will regret GOP-led January 6th investigation. Oh, Christ. He's so stupid. So we got people with guns in D.C. and Chicago. The economy's going in the toilet. We got people in concentration camps, racial profiling, people being kidnapped. And Hakeem Jeffrey's answer is, I'm going to reopen the January 6th investigations. The Republicans will regret it. Holy shit. Oh, my God. I mean, I just can't. I mean, it's so pathetic. Yeah, you really think the Republicans are going to care about, you think they voted for the guy seeing January 6th. Do you think that he's so stupid? Does Jeffries really think if he comes out with all this information, all of a sudden his voters are going to say, oh my God, I'm so glad that Jeffries brought this evidence. Now I'm a believer. I regret my vote. What the hell? Like, what's the point? What is the actual point? He is such an excuse, a pitiful excuse. Oh my God. And then Mike Johnson said that Donald was a FBI informant. It's just, so first, release the Epstein, release the files to his base. Then they get here, and now they're saying, oh, there's nothing here. It's a Democratic hoax. And now his name's on the list, and now they're like, oh, wait, that's not his signature. Oh, wait, just because he's on the list doesn't mean he did anything. Maybe Donald was doing a Bible study, or maybe he was baptizing little girls. Like, this is the stupidity of a cult. They will find some way to justify him being on the files. Yeah, it was Jeffries. I just saw it on CNN. Yeah, Jeffries thought of this brainstorm, this donkey. Yeah, I heard he walked back the informant stuff, but the fact that he even said it was just ridiculous. I just kid on. So, yeah, I don't know how it goes from a Democratic hoax to he's an FBI informant. How could he be an informant for something that's a hoax? Why is he called Cheeto Jesus? Because he's an antichrist. That is one of the stages of fascism. It is the first one. Okay, hold on. Fascism. Hold on. You have the key characteristics of fascism: authoritarianism and totalitarianism. Yeah. Ultranationalism, right? America, America, make them great again. Militarism and paramilitarism. Yeah, military, we're right there. Suppression of opposition. Yeah, the news. Cult of leader. A charismatic, often infallible leader is central to the movement, with their will seen as the will of the nation. Fixation on national decline. That's where we're headed. Scapegoating, right? Fake news. Economic control. And I believe that's part of the reason that Johnson actually went to recess, not just to hide the Epstein files, was he wanted him to take over as much power as he can so he can wipe his hands of it. I'm not familiar with what Arkansas did there. Yes, Jim Jones and Trump are the same. They were a cult leader. What people don't understand is you cannot plug and play the charisma of cult leaders. When Donald is no longer around, when he's no longer in our lives as a cancer, you can't just put him in there. He's an idiot. The problem is Donald is going to destroy democracy because he's a moron and his people are stupid. But what's going to happen is then you're going to hand it over to J.D. Vance, who is controlled by the Heritage Foundation, and Peter Thiel, and they're going to probably take a lot of control. And he's not going to have the same sway on his concepts of brains base like he will. But to an extent, they don't like him because he's not charismatic like him. You don't just plug and play cult leaders. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, he would charge for the Kool-Aid. They would pay for it. What if somebody wears a Bill Clinton? I don't like Bill Clinton at all. The fact that he cheated on his wife, he's a piece of garbage. I have no respect for Bill Clinton at all. And the fact that Bill Clinton, the Democrats brought Bill Clinton, who cheated on his wife while he was in office, to endorse Andrew Cuomo, who had to quit because he sexually harassed 11 women. And then 400,000 Democratic voters still said, yeah, that's the guy I want running. It was disgusting. It's gross. It's truly gross. Yeah, it's just gross. But yeah, he's a fascist. I made a video. If you look at Benito Mussolini, Hitler, and Donald, it's fascism. They're all the same. They're cut from the same cloth. Listen, Benito Mussolini and Hitler understood. They weren't stupid like this guy. They were actually very smart. Listen, they were pieces of garbage. They're going to rot in hell forever. But they understood, like J.D. Vance is a little smarter than Donald. Donald's an idiot. They think he's playing 5D chess and he's eating checker chips. He's an idiot. He's a moron. But they're attracted to shit. They're attracted to stupidity. Vice President Harris was too smart for them. She had an actual plan. He had concepts of a plan. She wanted universal health care. He wanted to eat dogs and the cats. She wanted to help with child tax credits. He wanted to talk about Hannibal Lecter and electric sharks and windmills because he's a fucking moron. He just is. He's an idiot. They're attracted to it. It's like flies attracted to shit or garbage. That's what they like. They get off on the stupidity of it because it allows them to be the white victim. It just is. That's just the truth. They have to be the victim of everything. Why? Because now they see that the white majority is no longer going to be here in a couple of years, and it scares the hell out of them. They saw a black man sitting in the White House instead of picking their cotton, and they lost their shit. And traditional family values. Oh my God, there was a black man in the White House. Oh, I can't do that. Can't happen again. I need to go back to this idiot. And they went back to him twice because we never addressed the original sin of this country. White supremacy. So we got him again. We got the plantation owner again. Yeah, I can't watch The Handmaid's Tale. I have women in my family that were victims of assault, and I could not. The first episode, I'm still scarred, and I watched that a couple years ago. I cannot watch that. I understand the context of it. I cannot watch women being treated that way. I can't. It triggers me. I cannot do it. Yeah, no other country in the world puts up statues of losers. Does Germany put up a statue of Hitler? I mean, does Italy put up Benito Mussolini statue? No, they're losers. Who puts up the statue? Who worships a loser? We do. Robert E. Lee got his ass kicked. But hey, he's a patriot because he fought for freedom. No, he didn't. Yes, I am a Niners fan for life. I'm actually going to the Niners store tomorrow. I got to get something. They have the new, this was last year's cancer hat. I love it. But the new one's pretty dope too. It looks like a bunch of spray paint all over that. So I'm deciding if I need more. I already have like 3 hats, but you can never have too many Niner hats. Mondami is where most people are. And the fact that the Democratic Party won't endorse him is exactly the problem with the Democratic Party. Is they don't want to break up the establishment. They want to stay in control, and they want to leave a bunch of people there. No, that's why we're here, to ask questions. Definition. I don't know. Well, okay. If you ask a MAGA what a traditional marriage is, leave it to Beaver. A white man and a white woman being married, having 2.3 children, having her make the babies, having her be submissive to her husband. In the eyes of a lot of white evangelicals, I don't use the word Christians because they're not, they're Pharisees. That is, in their eyes, a traditional family. So when a MAGA sees an interracial couple, they think that that's diluting the white bloodline in this country. That's how they see it. It's just true. It's disgusting. It's vile. And it's ironic that they want to demonize somebody like Pete Buttigieg, who's literally adopting kids, but yet these Pharisees want to force women to have babies. How many of these evangelicals do you see adopting kids? Right? None. That's right. But they'll force them to have babies, but they won't adopt any of them. But God forbid that Pete and his husband adopt the kids and love them and care for them and give them a good life. But somehow that's indoctrination. But yet you won't adopt a damn kid. You're not pro-life. They're just a bunch of bigots. Nick Fuentes about the future of the the Republican Party is gone. It's gone. It is a cult of white supremacy now. It is a far-right white Christian nationalist movement, full-on authoritarianism. I'm telling you, listen to what he's saying. What did he say today? And I've been to the Bible museum. It's really cool, actually. I think Obama's book was there from when he swore in. Right? Oh, it's the Christianity. They're coming after the Christians. Oh, they're coming after prayer. He's going back into the white victimhood because they see that their power just by being white is being taken away, and it scares the hell out of them. So they need to go back to being the victim. Oh my gosh, my prayers. Oh, it's the drag queens. Now, they won't say a damn thing about, mass murders in schools, but a drag queen is indoctrination. Oh, it's okay if you vote for a rapist to be president, but a drag queen reading, that's too far. How many mass shootings have been done by drag queens at drag queen readings? Because I've lost count. What is it, like 0? But somehow that's indoctrination. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I voted for John McCain. I had a tremendous amount of respect for John McCain. He would be disgusted and mortified that people that serve this country had to get on their knees and put down a red carpet so a rapist can kiss the felon of a war criminal who's murdering our allies in Ukraine. He would be sickened by what's happening to that party. Sickened. I do not watch the VMAs. It is not my jam. Correct. Right. So basically, you're right. MAGA doesn't want to be treated like a black person. That's actually very fair. That's what it is. And the moment they start to feel that way, they're going to start being little bitches and whining like little babies. And it's not fair. It's not fair. Example. I saw a white lady. I forgot where it was. Oh, she was saying, I'm just waiting for my privilege to kick in. I'm still poor. Listen, dumbass. Have you ever had to give the talk to your kids? Has your house ever been redlined? Was your house appraised at a lower price and you had to take out your personal pictures of your white family and then leave a month later and come back? You ever been pulled over for being white? You ever have somebody cross the street or look at you weird because you're white? That's white privilege. They just don't want to admit it because they need to be the victim. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you don't have privilege. They're stupid. They need to leave. They need to live in the victim mentality. How do I understand this? I think I've educated myself. I actually, ironically, I grew up in a Baptist church. My dad was extremely abusive as a dad, really ugly. And I've always believed you have a choice. There was a story I heard a long time ago. And if you heard this, I apologize, but it's a really good story. Well, no, it's okay. And I appreciate that. But you know what? If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be who I am today. So in a weird way, it kind of made me who I am. There was a story about two brothers, and they grew up in the same house. One brother was very successful and had a great family. The other brother was very abusive and alcoholic. And this reporter thought it was fascinating. How did these two brothers grow up in the exact same house and turn out so differently? So she interviewed the very successful brother, and he said, how did you turn out so successful? He goes, well, my dad was an alcoholic and he used to beat us all the time. Okay. So we went to the other brother. How did you turn out this way? He's like, well, my dad was an alcoholic and he used to beat us all the time. One brother used it as a stumbling block and the other as a stepping stone. I can either choose to be like my dad or be not like him. That's a choice that I made. And I chose not to talk to my dad anymore. I told him a couple years ago. I told him, I said, hey, I love you. But you know what? If I let my dad be around my children and treat them the way he treated me, it's not my dad's fault. It's my fault for continuing the cycle. I said, I love you. I forgive you. We are done. And that was it. I flew out there just for that before he had his heart surgery. I don't need to be around that. You can play the hand you're dealt or you can fold it. He said something that was interesting. He said, oh, but I'm your dad. I'm like, well, you had sex with my mom. I had no control over that. Then maybe you should have treated me a little better. That's that. It's that simple. I don't need to be around relationships. Now, does it suck? Yeah. Of course I do. I want my dad to be around. Who doesn't? My mom's the same way. My mom hasn't even met my wife and she's never met my kids. She flew down the day of my wedding and saw my brother and sister get dressed for my wedding, and then she flew home. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. But you know what? That's who she chose to be. I can't change who they are, but I can change how I deal with them. Beauty, that's a great question. What do you do about Trump supporters? You know what? For me, I I don't debate them, at least on my TikTok. The fact that for me, the fact that people didn't see raping women as a red line is disgusting. And I go back to my earlier comment about creators that are grifters, larger creators that are just making money off of breaking news and outrage. It's disgusting that they go on here and debate people again and again and again. And even the guys that are on right now, you know who they are. Thousands of followers. It's all a grift. It's outrage. Too many men in this country normalize what happened, and they don't say anything. On the occasion that an accidental Trumper comes on my channel, I'll ask him one question only. Why did you not see Jean Carroll as a red line? I've got answers from, I don't believe her, to, well, there's more important things. I had one guy, I asked him, if Jean Carroll was your mom and he did that, would you still vote for him? And he actually said yes. I'm not kidding. I had a person say, yes, I would still vote for him, even if he did that to my mom. You're not going to save those people, my friends. You're not. And I don't want to be around people that don't share the same values as me. I don't. And we're normalizing it as content creators. I think, listen, I started this a couple years ago. I had no idea I was going to do this. I had no idea. I was walking in a park 2 years ago, and my wife goes, why don't you get out your frustration and do something positive? So I said, hey, I started TikTok. She goes, what? I'm like, I don't know. I just thought I'd make a video. It's like my #1 viewed thing on YouTube. I just put it on by accident a couple months ago. I had no idea that this was going to be. I mean, I never just did this. No, it's weird that people listen to me talk. It's bizarre. It's weird. I'm not going to lie. It's strange. I think there's too many people that are fake on here. They edit their videos. They do it in a room. They interview people. They have fancy microphones. Listen, the reality is most of us are broke as fuck. Okay? Let's be real. Hell, I got Hello Kitty in my background. Okay? Hello Kitty. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Hello Kitty. She's everywhere. Just sitting in a dark room. I just think this is who we are. We're all just regular people trying to make it day to day. And I don't know about you, but I want someone that's relatable. That's just who I am. Yeah, Hello Kitty's awesome. Well, thank you, man. I'm going to have to leave in a few minutes. I got to go see my little guy. He came back from baseball practice, and I haven't seen him today. I got to put eyes on the other one here. Yeah, many women. And I put out a video on my, it was earlier today. There was a donkey from Virginia, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Temu version. And she's like, well, this one lady was an actor. She was referring to the women that came forward. Okay. Well, this one lady was an actor. Now, I'm not saying anything, but this whole thing is funded by George Soros. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. It's disgusting and she's vile. And I don't understand why Americans cannot take a stand and go 10 toes down and say, I mean, I don't even understand why CNN is normalizing it. I don't even watch CNN. Hey, guys, like, this dude's a rapist. Okay. What's the problem here? Why are we normalizing this? Why is nobody bringing it up? Hey, this guy's a felon, people. Like, what are we doing? They're just normalizing it. People are allowing it to go by, and I'm not going to do it. It is. You're right, Miguel. They're grifters. What happened to, the survivors? From what I understand, they're making a list. And now I'm not sure. Somebody might correct me here. Yeah, I don't watch CNN. They're a joke. Jake Tapper's a tool. Yeah, once he made a book about Biden, he went out. You think Jake Tapper would ever have the balls to go after Donald? No, he's picking on Biden because he knows he's a decent man. I have no respect for Jake Tapper anymore. That's just my personal opinion. Jake Tapper, CNN. Yeah, they're all the networks are just, it's outrage. Once we took away the fairness doctrine in 83 or 86? I mean, Walter Cronkite would just report the news and let you decide. Now we run news 24 hours a day, every hour. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, I'm watching the the thumbnails, every news outlet is reporting about the survivors, talking about that, right? You know what Fox News is talking about? The crime wave in Chicago. Because it's fear-mongering to their base. Yeah, David Muir is a good guy. He's a good reporter. I don't watch very little news. And when I'm done here, I'm going to go watch the one that I watch every week, and that's Rachel Maddow, because she is, in my opinion, she is the gold standard of journalism. I don't even think it's debatable. I really don't. She is the best. There's a crime wave in the White House in Mar-a-Lago. Why don't we go address that? Why don't we send some people there? Go take a look. I heard there's a convicted felon and an adjudicated rapist there. Maybe we should go deal with that. Oh, no, not them. You know, Rachel and I went to the same high school. I missed her by 1 year. We're both Castro Valley Trojans. She was 91. She was 90. I was 94. I missed her by 1 year. Yeah, David, there's a couple reporters that are pretty. I think Caitlin Collins is a good reporter. She doesn't push back as much as she should, but she's an excellent reporter. I respect her for that. Once they had that town hall with undecided Trump voters, I mean, that was a bunch of crap. That was a total gimmick. I don't think I even turned it on since that day. Was that 2 years ago? Yeah, it was a bunch of crap. I voted for McCain the first time, and then I voted for Obama because I thought he did a damn good job. And I was a Republican at the time. I wasn't into politics like I am now. They were both, and you know what? Michael Steele is awesome. He's incredible. Mitt Romney was a decent human being. Do I agree with him on everything? No, but he was a decent person. Yeah, Lawrence O'Donnell. I like his opening segment because he goes scorched earth. After that, it's just the same stuff. So I usually watch the first 10 minutes, and that's about it. Ooh, Telemundo. Yeah. Ground news. I have not heard of it. I really don't watch a lot of news. Honestly, I don't. I follow a couple of creators on Blue Sky. It's like Mueller, she wrote one of them. There's a couple that I follow on there. Some people I really like, Mark Elias. He's incredible. It's independent journalist. Hell, I'll even follow, who's the guy that was fired from CNN? The old white guy. Jim Acosta. He's pretty good. He doesn't play around. The special elections in Virginia? I don't know, Miguel. You know, I think we have to choose as Americans. Do we want to keep going back to this system and having faith in some special election? Or do we want to fix the system? If you have a car with 500,000 miles with a broken fan belt that gets 3 miles to the gallon that leaks oil, does it really matter who drives it, a Republican or Democrat? Because that's really where we are. I mean, that's just the reality of it. It doesn't matter. I still think we're sleepwalking into saying, oh, well, we have to. Oh, what if there's no democracy? Well, we tried. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We watched it burn. We'll see, Mario. If we do not address white supremacy, nothing's going to matter. It's just not. And if we don't, you have the social economic part of it, and you have the white supremacy. Both things have to be dealt with, or nothing's going to. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because we're going to keep fighting against ignorance. These people are from the Confederacy. The fact that California has 40 million people, and we get 2 Senate seats, and basically North and South Dakota cancel us out, that's a bunch of shit. That is not equal representation. It's not. It's not right. It's minority rule. It's a bunch of crap. The fact that DC doesn't have a vote, that's a bunch of crap. Puerto Rico has 3.206 million people. Why don't they have a Senate seats? Why not? They're citizens. There's only 500,000 people in Wyoming. Why don't they have it? Why aren't they a state? Well, that's a bunch of crap. We got almost 4 million people that are U.S. citizens that don't even have a right in the Senate or the Congress. That's not taxation with representation. Well, there will be some people, Mario, that are going to build a statue for him because they're just ignorant. They're going to be the same people that wave a Confederate flag because they're proud of being losers, and the same people that want to put up a monument of Robert E. Lee. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I got family in Indiana and Illinois, and they're good people. They work hard, they bust their ass, but yeah, they're in a cult. They never leave their little white bubble, and they live in Fox News 28 hours a day, and they surround themselves with other people that are ignorant and tell them the same thing, and it's fear mongering. Monty, reparations is a good question. I don't know how to handle that. I have not put a lot of thought into it. I don't know if it's from a monetary point of view or from an asset point of view. I know in California, we gave some land. Well, not give it. We gave them land for, it was in Southern California, and I don't remember it. I'm sorry. How do we get them out of a cult? You don't. They're going to have to suffer. Valiant, as hard as it is to hear, they're going to have to burn their hand on the stove. They're going to have to lose their job. They're going to have to lose their retirement. They're going to have to lose their Medicaid. Somebody in their family is going to have to suffer from the consequences of the racism. It's just, they don't care about you and I. They don't care about anybody but themselves. I hate to say that. It's true. They don't care. They have people in concentration camps right now, losing their pregnancies. You know what they care about? I can't sell my soybean. Give me some money. I want socialism. Bail me out. They don't give two shits about anybody but themselves. They're selfish. Literally the opposite of what Jesus stood for. Yes, they're an addict. They're like alcoholics. Victim blaming, white supremacy, rage. Look at the rallies. Camo fatigue, boots, yelling, veins bulging, spit coming out of their mouth. Like, they're always angry at somebody. All right. Speaking of which, but eggs and gas, right? So you went from, I have to vote for the felon who's an adjudicated rapist because eggs are too expensive. Now that eggs are more expensive and gas is more expensive and groceries are more expensive, it's a short-term gain because he's playing 5D chess. There's more important things than money. It's funny how the goalpost keeps moving. Then you want the Epstein files, and you get the Epstein files. And now it's like, well, his name's not really on there. That was forged. Well, he was preaching Jesus over there. He didn't do anything wrong. You can't prove it. Where's your proof? What about January 6th? All you want to do is talk about it. That was peaceful. That was fake news. They're in a cult. Again, cult of the leader. Infallible leader. When you think in your brain that this person was sent by God, it doesn't matter what evidence or facts. None of it matters. Because then you think that you're going against the will of God. You have to look at it from that way. No, George Bush should not have a statue. No, because we should have never sent troops over there, overseas. Should have never happened. It was a lie. Absolutely not. So, they believe anything he says. When you grow up in the evangelical church, you're told that abortion is bad and gay people are bad. And anything that a white man does is okay. That's just the truth. It's the indoctrination and the removal of critical thinking. For example, I believe in God. Why did God flood the earth if he's pro-life? See, that's a fair question. But if you ask that to a MAGA supporter, oh my gosh, how dare you question God? Nobody questions. Well, God is, I'm not his servant. I thought we were supposed to be a relationship, right? I read the books of the Apocrypha right now. I've read the whole Bible. I'm named after Saul of Tarsus. Literally named after one of the apostles. Israel should put Benjamin Netanyahu under a prison as far as I'm concerned, because that's where he belongs. He's going to spend a long time with Jeffrey Epstein. And I have peace knowing that one day Netanyahu is going to stand before God and he's going to point and he goes, Epstein, right over there. That's your bunkmate. Get the hell out of here. What you did to those people in Gaza was unforgivable. I have peace in that. It's that simple. But Democrats won't say that because, oh my God, AIPAC won't give me donations so I can run for re-election. I do. I fight this way because when I grew up, when I was little and I was picked on by my dad, I had nobody to stand up for me. And I know how it feels like, and it sucks. And there's a lot of people that are scared because they didn't grow up with the bully. I did. I know the guy in the White House, the felon, he's an insecure little bitch. He doesn't love himself. He doesn't love his wife. He doesn't love his kids. He doesn't love his grandkids. He sure in the hell doesn't love his white colt. He lives off of victim blaming because he's insecure. He's unhappy. And when people are unhappy, they have something called Schadenfreude. It's a German word, which means that you love the suffering of others. They literally love the suffering of others. They could be eating garbage on the side of a street, and they will hold up a sign that goes, at least I own the libs, while their teeth are falling out because they can't afford dental care. But I own the libs. It's not logical. It's purely emotional. He is their golden calf. He is their antichrist. Thou shalt build no other gods before me. And they have put him on a pedestal. Do you see Jesus hats and Jesus flags and Jesus hamburgers, Jesus condoms, Jesus bumper stickers? No, it's Trump, 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 Trump. He is their God. It's a cult. He is their antichrist. He is their deity. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot live in both light and darkness. You cannot say, I hate Taylor Swift, I hate the libs, but praise Jesus with an F Joe Biden bumper sticker. They're hypocrites. They're Pharisees. That's it. All right, my friends, I got to go. I got to go see my little guys. Yeah, he's an act of God, but I will leave you with this. For those of you, oh yeah, Mordecai. I remember that was God, he was saving. Oh, who was that? Was that Ruth? All right, see, I always lost my thought. I will say this for those of you that do read the Bible, and this is not a preach it thing. Go read 1 Samuel chapter 8. They asked for a king 3 times. And God said, are you sure you want a king? Are you really sure? Esther, you're right. Esther, you're right. I knew it was his niece. Yeah, she wrote a book in the Old Testament, actually. One of the Deborah was a king. I'm trying to think of the other one. Anyway, I'm getting off track. And he said, I'm telling you, this is going to be bad. If you want a king, don't do it. Don't do it. Are you sure? Yeah. We want a king. 1 Samuel chapter 8. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. God, forgive us. I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, I believe that God sent this dumbass here to show them that they're not actually people of faith, that they've chosen a godly king instead of the earthly king, and they're going to suffer because of it. I really believe that. Anyway. All right, my friends, I got to go. I got to go see my little guys. Bye-bye.